Hello, you legends. I didn't connect my microphone properly, so I got no audio, so it's voiceover time. Here is a Fiddle Leaf Fig. It is always falling over, and there's a reason for that. I think it's quite top heavy, partly because this soil isn't soaking up any moisture, and you can see the root ball is separated from the pot, which is telling me it's very dry, probably needs some new medium. Also needs some new nutrients because we've got a bunch of leaves that are falling off like that. Here's when I'm going to do some filming because we've got better light over here. We're going to drop that down and let's have a look at one of these other Fiddle Leaf Figs that I have hanging out over here. Just like the other one, very, very top heavy, and the soil down the bottom doesn't really want to doesn't want to retain moisture. So we're going to have to do something with that one of these days. Back to the old plant, you can see there's got some like red underneath the leaves, and some of the leaves are falling off, which is telling me it's probably just in need of some nutrition and some water. But there's the red stuff underneath. It's either been burnt by the sun and or the frost, probably a bit of both. Moving here has messed around a whole bunch of the plants that I've got. Anyway, let's have a look at the root ball. There's a whole bunch of ants in there. If you zoom in, or if you look really closely, there's a bunch of ants, and there's also a bunch of mycelium, which is kind of cool. Mycelium's like a fungus that's left over after wood decaying, so there's a lot of bark in the mix that I was using. So it's actually a really, really good thing. And you can see the root ball there is nice and big and healthy, and it's going to fit perfectly back into the pot that it was in. And on closer inspection, I'd actually really like this old soil. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with it, but I'm just going to use some new soil as well. So I've got some new soil in the grey bucket, and I've backfilled a little bit with some old soil, and now I'm topping everything up with the new potting mix and just giving it a huge pot slap. We can't pot slap without shouting out to Tanner Mitchell. Hello, Tanner. Hope things are great. And you'll see that there's also a little bit of grey powder in the potting mix. You might see it there. That's ash from the fireplace. I just decided to put in some ash in there because, you know, why not? It's not going to hurt. It's only going to help and only going to make things good or better. Use some of the old medium to top everything back up, and more pot slaps just to make sure all of that soil is going to get around the root ball and make sure the plant is going to be nice and healthy. No air pockets or anything like that. We're also hoping to weigh down the base of this plant because it does get so top heavy. So again, I'm nearly using all of the new medium and the old stuff in this pot. I think there's just a little bit of old stuff left over, which is good. More pot slaps, nice and heavy, great. I'm also going to eventually propagate here and some other places like there with some of those air layer propagation balls that you would have seen in other posts. Now I'm going to put it where it's going to live, which was here, and I ran off to get some water and the plant fell over in the Eka winds. Apparently, Brisbane has something called the Eka winds. Let me know if you know anything about it. Topping it up with some welder time lapse to let it go down. That's me. Thanks, fam. See you guys later. Bye.